Hi Bob, it's time for your straw bale garden video update. I'll try to do this around once a month so you can track the progress of the straw bale garden. As you can see, it looks a little bit bigger than when you last saw it and a little bit more stuff. Things have been growing more, and which is good. So I'll start where I started last time, over here with the peppers. So as you can see, the peppers are in this pot, and we have a few of them here. This is what's going to be a mammoth jalapeno pepper. Here's some serrano peppers, and over here there's not really that many more peppers growing. There's still, I guess, tiny little ones scattered, but it's not been time yet. It's only really been hot for the past couple of days. And then there's also some beans in here, which you'll see a little bit later in the straw bale. So let's start at the straw bale. So here are these, I think, bush beans. They are string beans according to the tag. And as you can see, we've got some string beans here. I'm going to pick some of the bigger ones before they get too much bigger, as I hear that they're not as good when they're kind of big. But you can see there's still tiny, tiny, tiny ones in here too that are growing as well. But some big ones. So maybe we'll have some peas for dinner. Tonight or tomorrow night. So the last time I made a video, there was this question of what am I going to do with this watermelon that I planted in here, and you can see that it's not on the grass, so it must be somewhere. So the watermelon has been trained to grow up here. So you can see up there, it's growing and growing and growing. There's some cucumber growing across here too. So that's the watermelon. I want to see if I can find a tiny little watermelon to show you, because they're so cute, but they're sort of interspersed in here, and I don't know if we'll be able to find one. The other place that the watermelon is going is that way, along these things that I've put up because the straw bale is disintegrating, composting itself down, and as a result, it kind of just to like flop out a little bit. So but no little watermelon. The other watermelon, there's little ones you can see on here. Here's the cucumber plant, which is kind of gotten out of control. It's trying to go into the watermelon section, but I'm not going to let it, because everything has to have sacrifice here in the straw bale garden, and I am willing to sacrifice cucumber to get watermelon. So I'm going to wrap that around a little bit later after the video. Let's see if we can find a cucumber for you. Here's a little cucumber. I don't know if you can see that on the screen. Let's see that here. Maybe this is a better view for you. Yep, there's cucumber. There's some more cucumber. And there's more in there, and there's lots and lots of flowers as well. The next is a tomato, which we talked about cucumber sacrifice before, so this probably will have some sacrifice. Here's the tomato. There's some tomatoes down here as well, and there's a couple little ones a little higher up. I think that my tomato plants have calcium deficiency, so I'm going to buy some calcium. But whatever. Here's some peppers. They're very, very, very slow growing, but there's a pepper in here. And here's the biggest pepper thus far, which is quite small. And the strawberries. See, we're getting lots of strawberries now. It's time for me to pick these. There's more coming our way too, for here as well. So I'll have these after I'm done shooting this video. Here's the other watermelon plant. There's a bug on there, you can see it in there. And these ones, you can see that there is a little watermelon growing there. And I think there's other places too that there's a little watermelon. Here's a little watermelon growing there, it's so tiny. So we'll see, and you see it's growing out and up. It's got two options to ensure that it stays alive. Here's another cucumber. You can see one kind of like dangling there. Some of them have gotten quite big. When I go around I'll go around the back in a second, you'll see kind of the bigger ones. Or you can maybe just see this one here. It's like an actual cucumber-sized cucumber, which is pretty fun. There's some more in there. And these two cucumber plants have become intertwined, but I know which one is which. And the one that's producing the big cucumbers now, it will be sacrificed, if need be, for the little cucumber. And here are some peas. And it's going to begin to flower. So, yeah. So let's go around the back. See a different view. You can see more cucumbers. Here. Oh, I had a little spot here. And it's shady, so I planted some lettuce in, some butter lettuce, which is actually the only lettuce I like. And I also planted some carrots. These are multicolored carrots. And here's the tomato. Here's some cucumbers over here. Here's Mr. Watermelon. Oh, here's a little watermelon right there. Can you see that? Right there. And some peas. And some more beans. Alrighty, well that's it for part 1 of a straw bale video update. We'll do the tomatoes in part 2 and the flowers in part 2 as well. So thanks for joining us, or me.